The chamber was impossible. That was the first thing Marcus Webb thought when the transport doors opened. The celestial assembly hall stretched so far in every direction that Earth could have fit inside it 3 times over. The walls glowed with captured starlight, and floating platforms held representatives from species he had never imagined could exist. Some looked like walking crystals. Others were clouds of gas held together by force fields. One delegate appeared to be made of living mathematics, its body shifting through geometric patterns that hurt to watch for too long. There were creatures with 12 legs, beings that floated without support, entities that existed in multiple dimensions at once. 2,000 species. All of them staring at him. Marcus stood in the center of a circular platform that hovered above nothing. His worn jacket and simple pants looked pathetically human compared to the grandeur around him. Above him, 13 massive thrones defied physics. Their occupants existing in spaces that should not connect to normal reality. These were the arbiters, the leaders of the Galactic Council, the beings who decided the fate of entire civilizations. One of them spoke. Its voice came from everywhere at once, vibrating through the air itself. The creature looked like Mercury given life, flowing and shifting but always maintaining a vaguely humanoid shape. Marcus Webb of Earth, you stand accused of Class 7 technological contamination. You violated the Sacred Species Protection Act. Most serious of all, you awakened a dormant entity without authorization. How do you answer these charges? Marcus clenched his jaw. His heart pounded, but he kept his voice steady. I helped a blind girl see. That is all I did. The chamber exploded with noise. Hundreds of species began shouting, clicking, whistling, or producing sounds that had no equivalent in human language. The translation devices built into the platform struggled to keep up. The Mercury Arbiter's command cut through the chaos instantly. Every being in the hall stopped moving. You claim ignorance? 12 star systems now report gravitational anomalies. Ancient structures are activating across multiple sectors. The daughter of the ancient void can now perceive reality itself, and you gave her the tools to do it. Marcus lifted his chin slightly. He would not back down. Not here. Not for this. If your laws say helping someone who suffers is a crime, then your laws are garbage. Another wave of shock swept through the assembly. In the observers section, Director Rachel Hayes, Earth's chief ambassador, closed her eyes. She had warned Marcus this would happen. Earth's entire diplomatic team had begged him not to attend this trial. But Marcus Webb had never run from his work. A different arbiter leaned forward. This one looked like compressed gravity, dark and heavy, its form pulling light toward itself. When it spoke, the words felt like earthquakes. Human arrogance. Your species has traveled space for barely 2 centuries. Yet you interfere with forces older than your sun. The girl you helped is named Kira of Nalthoria. Her people have been sightless for 50 million years. This was not an accident. It was divine design. The old ones sealed their eyes for a reason. What reason? Marcus demanded. The audacity of questioning an arbiter made several species gasp. The Mercury Arbiter answered slowly, because her species were the eyes of something far greater. When the Nalthorians could see, something else saw through them. Her people chose blindness to cage a god. You just opened that cage, Marcus Webb? A holographic display materialized above Marcus's head. It showed a planet, beautiful and green, with 3 moons. Nalthoria Prime. But something was wrong with the image. The surface writhed with structures that should not exist. Buildings that had been dormant for eons were lighting up, responding to something awakening. The image shifted. Deep space. Darkness between stars. And in that darkness, something massive was stirring. Marcus could see the edge of it, a shape so large it made planets look like dust motes. It moved with terrible slowness, like something waking from ancient sleep. What is that? Marcus heard the fear in his own voice. That is what sleeps when the Nalthorians cannot see, Velncora said quietly. That is the witness. And because of your visor, it is waking. Tell us, human engineer, how do you plan to fix this? Marcus had no answer. The scene had started 3 weeks earlier. Marcus had been in his workshop in New Geneva trying to repair a quantum processor when his assistant interrupted him. "Boss, you need to see this message." It came through official channels. The request was simple. The Nalthorian government wanted help restoring sight to one individual. Just one. Their species had evolved without eyes for millions of years. They used echolocation, electromagnetic sensing, and spatial awareness humans barely understood. They were brilliant scientists and artists who created beauty through touch and sound, but one young Nalthorian kept asking questions her people found disturbing. She wanted to see. She wanted to understand what color meant. She wanted to look at stars. Marcus had accepted the job immediately. This was what he lived for. Solving impossible problems. Making the universe a little better, one person at a time. Ambassador Hayes had been hesitant to approve the project, but she could not find legal grounds to stop him. Within a week, Marcus was on a transport heading to the Outer Rim. He met Kira in a garden designed for blind people. The plants grew in perpetual twilight, engineered to exist without much light. She was young, maybe equivalent to a human teenager. Her skin shimmered with colors that shifted in the dim light. Where her eyes should have been, there was only smooth skin, as if evolution had erased the sockets entirely. "You are the human." Her translator made her voice sound musical. "I am Marcus. You must be Kira." "I am." She tilted her head, her other senses reading him completely. "The others do not want me to do this. They say sight is dangerous, that it was taken from us for good reasons. But I want to see the stars, Marcus Webb. Is that wrong?" Marcus thought about his own daughter back on Earth, how she had cried with joy when he fixed her hearing implant. No, it is not wrong at all. He did not know that the Nalthorian elders were terrified. He did not know their historians had been searching ancient records frantically. He did not know the request had been a test. Would humanity be wise enough to refuse? Would they ask the right questions? Marcus Webb had failed the test completely. Now he stood in the Celestial Assembly, watching holographic images of something impossible waking in deep space, all because he wanted to help. Velncora spoke again. "Marcus Webb, you will return to Nalthoria Prime. You will face what you awakened. If you cannot stop it, we will sterilize that entire sector. Billions will die, including Kira, including you. Do you understand?" Marcus understood. He had given a blind girl the ability to see, and somehow in doing so, he had awakened a god. Marcus's transport dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Nalthoria system. What he saw made his stomach drop. The planet was surrounded. Massive geometric structures floated in space, forming a perfect sphere around Nalthoria Prime. They pulsed with light and colors that seemed wrong, colors his brain could not quite process. Each structure was kilometers across, made of materials that looked like crystallized space itself. Ambassador Hayes stood beside him in the observation deck. Her face was pale. "Those were not there 3 days ago. What are they?" Marcus asked. The ship's Nalthorian liaison officer answered. His name was Tekvar, and his blind face showed fear. "Ancient observatories. My people built them 50 million years ago, before the sealing. When we served the witness, we constructed these to enhance its perception. We thought they were myths. Stories to scare children." Marcus felt sick. "I can fix this. There has to be a way." "You cannot uninvent fire," Tekvar said quietly. "The witness remembers what we were. It remembers that once an entire species existed only to see for it. And now that one of us can see again, it wants all of us back." A transmission came through. Kira's face appeared on the screen, but something was different about her expression. To calm, to knowing. Behind her, temple walls crawled with symbols that made Marcus's eyes water when he tried to focus on them. "I knew you would come. Kira, listen to me. We need to reverse what I did. I can remove the visor. I can shut down the neural pathways. It is too late for that." Her voice was gentle but alien. "The witness is listening through me now. Do you know what it shows me, Marcus?" "Everything. I can see wavelengths that do not exist yet. I can see the future as clearly as the past. I can see every decision you might make and all their outcomes." She smiled. "I can see that you are going to try to save me, and I can see that it will not work the way you hope. Oh, you are still you. Fight it, am I?" She tilted her head. "Or was I always meant to be this? My ancestors chose blindness to escape, but perhaps escape was the wrong choice. The witness shows me wonders beyond imagination. It has watched galaxies born and die. It perceives dimensions even the Council cannot reach. To see through its eyes is to understand everything." Ambassador Hayes leaned forward. "Kira, the Council will destroy your world if this continues. Billions will die."
"I know."
"I can see their fleet assembling." Kira's eyes focused on something infinitely far away. "They are afraid. They built their civilization while the witness slept. They forgot what the universe was like when older things were awake." The transom. Ishan ended. Marcus took a shuttle down to the planet's surface against everyone's protests. Nalthoria Prime was in chaos. Blind Nalthorians were spontaneously developing sight. Evolution was occurring in real time, their bodies remembering what they had been millions of years ago. Some celebrated their new vision. Others clawed at their faces, desperate to return to comfortable darkness. He found Kira in an ancient temple at the heart of the capital. The building's architecture was impossible. Walls existed at angles that made no sense. Kira floated 3 feet above the floor, surrounded by light that came from nowhere. "You should not have come," she said, without turning. "The witness wants to see you. You interested? A species with such clear vision, yet so blind to consequences. Kira, please. We can stop this. We can find a way to what? Put me back to sleep?" She turned, and Marcus saw that her eyes were wrong. They shifted through colors that should not exist, pupils containing impossible depths. The witness has been trapped in darkness for eons. It was here before the current universe expanded. It will be here after everything ends. And it sees through eyes like mine across 10,000 galaxies. I am just one lens. But I am the lens that woke up first. Marcus pulled out a device he had built during the flight. A neural disruptor designed to safely shut down the interface between Kira's brain and the visor. "I am sorry. I have to try." He activated it. Electromagnetic pulses flooded the chamber. Kira did not even blink. "That would have worked 3 days ago," she said sadly, "before the integration was complete. But the witness learns quickly. It has already changed my biology beyond what your technology can affect." She lowered herself to the ground, walking toward him. "I want you to understand something, Marcus. I am not possessed. I am not controlled. I am simply awake, truly awake. For the first time in my life, I can see the truth of reality." "What truth?" "That vision is not just a sense. It is a connection. When you see something, you become entangled with it. Light touches your eyes after touching everything else. You receive information that links you to the entire universe, and the witness sees everything, which means everything is connected to it, including you." Marcus felt pressure behind his eyes. For one terrible moment, he could see the way Kira saw. The walls were not solid. They were probability waves. The air was filled with quantum information, and extending through dimensions his brain could not process. There was the witness itself. It was not a creature. It was a phenomenon. An act of perception so vast it had gained consciousness. And it was looking at him. The moment passed. Marcus gasped for breath. "You see?" Kira said gently. "This is my reality now, every second. How can I return to blindness after this?" Ambassador Hayes' voice crackled through his communicator. "Marcus, the Council fleet entered the system. They gave us 6 hours to fix this, or they fire. They have weapons that can collapse entire star systems." Marcus looked at Kira desperately. "Is there any future where you survive?" "Many," she replied. "But in all of them, the witness remains awake. It will not sleep again, Marcus. That option ended when I first saw color." The Galactic Council's deadline collapsed within 2 hours. Not because they changed their decision, but because they lost control of the situation entirely. The witness. speaking through Kira and thousands of other awakening Nalthorians across multiple worlds, began broadcasting. Every public information network in known space suddenly displayed the same images. Truths the Council had spent centuries hiding. Marcus watched from his shuttle as the revelations unfolded. Species thought extinct had been deliberately eliminated by Council decree for possessing dangerous technologies. Younger civilizations had been kept primitive through sabotage disguised as accidents. The natural hierarchy of galactic power was engineered, not earned. And humanity's first contact? The files showed Earth had been monitored for 3 centuries before official greeting. The Council had debated quarantining the entire solar system. They made contact only because they believed they could control human development better from inside. Ambassador. Hayes stared at the screens in shock. They were afraid of us? Even then? They were afraid of what we might become, Marcus realized. We develop too fast. We break rules. We do not respect established order. Like giving sight to a blind alien girl, Kira appeared on every display throughout the galaxy. Behind her, the form of the witness had become partially visible. A geometric impossibility existing in spaces between spaces, surface covered in eyes that were planets, stars, entire galaxies. Each eye showed a different scene, a different truth being revealed. People of the current age, Kira's voice reached every corner of known space, instantly translated. I am Kira of Nalthoria, and I speak with the witness who dreams in darkness. You have been told to fear this awakening, but we bring only truth. Billions across thousands of worlds watched. The witness does not judge. It does not conquer. It simply sees, and it shares what it sees with all who wish to know. For 50 million years, it slept because my people chose to look away from reality. We thought ignorance would protect us. We thought blindness would make us free. Her impossible eyes gazed into every camera. We were wrong. Freedom comes from having courage to look. Arbiter Velncora's face appeared on split screen, furious. This entity uses emotion against you. It exposes information without context. Creating chaos, I provide context you deliberately removed, Kira interrupted calmly. The witness sees not just what happens, but why. It perceives causality across time. What it sees is a galactic council maintaining power not through wisdom, but through controlling what others know. Another arbiter spoke up. This one looked like crystallized time itself. If all secrets are revealed, civilization will collapse. Their truth species are not ready to know. Then let each species decide for themselves. Marcus found himself saying, he had not planned to speak, but the words came anyway. You do not get to make that choice for everyone, the witness pulsed. Suddenly Marcus could see through its perception for just a moment. He saw Earth as it truly was. A planet filled with potential that terrified older species. He saw humanity's future branching into 10,000 possibilities. Some glorious, some terrible, all unprecedented. He understood why the Council feared his people. Humans did not respect established order. They never had. Within the Celestial Assembly, the Council's unity shattered. Species began choosing sides. Those who wanted the witness destroyed immediately, those who wanted to know what truths it might reveal. Younger civilizations demanded answers. Why had their development been guided? What technologies had been deemed too dangerous? What had they been prevented from becoming? The older species found themselves defensive for the first time in eons. Arbiter Tholmanex, the being from the dying star, spoke with resignation. This is the end of the age of control. The human engineer has done what we feared most. Not awakened to God, but reminded the galaxy that gods can be questioned. Kira's transmission continued. The witness offers a choice to every species. It can share everything it sees. Past, present, probability patterns of futures. You will know truths hidden from you. You will understand forces that shaped your existence. But you will also bear the weight of that knowledge. A new face appeared. The Nalthorian High Scholar. Kira's father. His blind face showed what might have been tears. My daughter. My people chose blindness because seeing the witness's truth was too much. When we served it millions of years ago, we lost ourselves. We became only instruments of perception. No thoughts of our own, no dreams. No purpose beyond seeing for it. We sealed our sight to reclaim our souls. Kira's expression softened. I know, Father. The witness showed me what we were. But it also showed me that we were never truly slaves. We chose to see for it. When we chose to stop, it let us go. The prison was never the seeing. It was assuming that seeing meant belonging to something else. The high scholar's face turned upward. Can you still choose blindness? Can you look away? Yes, Kira said. The witness gives me that choice every moment. And every moment I choose to see. Not because I must, but because I want to. The Council fleet still surrounded Nelthoria Prime, weapons charged, but they had not fired. They could not. Half the galaxy was watching, and any attack now would look like suppressing truth rather than protecting safety. Marcus received a private communication from Velncora. You understand what you have done? This will not end peacefully. Knowledge without wisdom destroys. Species will war over what the witness reveals. Governments will fall. The stability we built over millions of years was built on lies, Marcus interrupted. I am an engineer. I fix things. Your system was broken. You're a fool who does not understand the complexity of maintaining galactic order. Maybe, Marcus admitted. But I understand you cannot keep people blind just because you fear what they might do when they see clearly. Velcora was silent for a long moment. The Council will vote on whether to accept the witness's existence. If we vote to destroy it, will you stand in our way? Marcus thought about Kira, floating in that temple, connected to something vast and ancient. He thought about all the blind Nalthorians beginning to see, each one a potential lens for the witness. He thought about Earth, beautiful, chaotic Earth, full of people who insisted on looking even W. It hurt. I will not stand in your way, Marcus said. But I will make sure everyone knows what you are doing and why. The witness will broadcast your vote to the entire galaxy. Then every species will decide if they want to be part of your order anymore. Ambassador Hayes touched his shoulder. Marcus, you are declaring war on the most powerful organization in known space.
Nice.
I am just turning on the lights. The vote was called. 2,000 species prepared to decide the fate of the witness and with it, the future of truth itself in the galaxy. But as voting began, the witness did something unexpected. Through Kira, it showed one final vision. Not of past or present, but of a future. A specific future. In this vision, the witness was destroyed. The galaxy returned to how it had been. Secrets remained hidden. The Council maintained control. Within 500 years, a crisis emerged. Something the Council's incomplete knowledge could not predict or prevent. A disaster consuming hundreds of civilizations. Then the witness showed an alternate future. One where it remained awake, where truth flowed freely. This future was chaotic, messy, filled with conflicts and upheavals. But species faced their problems with complete information. When the same crisis emerged, they were prepared. Most survived. The witness offered no commentary. It simply showed what it saw and let the galaxy choose. Marcus realized the witness was not a god at all. It was a mirror. The galaxy was seeing its own reflection clearly for the first time. The vote took 17 hours. Broadcast across every inhabited world, every station, every vessel. Billions watched as representatives from 2,000 species made their choice. Preliminary counts came in. 47% voting to destroy the witness. 45% voting to accept it. 8% abstaining or undecided. The younger species were almost unanimously in favor. The older civilizations were split. The founding species were terrified because they had the most to lose. The final vote came down to one species. The Kelvin beings of pure energy who had been part of the Council since its inception. They were the oldest living civilization in the galaxy. Their representative, named Harmonic Cascade, had not spoken during the entire proceedings. Now Cascade's form appeared on every screen. Their voice was like music from instruments that did not exist. I witnessed the birth of the current universal expansion. I remember when the witness last walked freely through reality. I remember what it was like before it slept, and I remember why we convinced it to sleep. The galaxy held its breath. It was not fear that drove us. It was exhaustion. The witness sees everything. In seeing everything, it invited all who encountered it to see as well, to perceive the full truth of existence, and that truth was unbearable for young species. They would look through the witness's eyes and see the futility and beauty and horror and wonder of reality all at once. Many went mad. Others lost all motivation. Some became so obsessed with observation, they forgot to live. Cascade turned attention to Kira. Young one, you say you choose to see. But have you seen enough to understand what I am telling you? Kira's reply was calm. I am aware. The witness has shown me what I might become. I have seen futures where I lose my sense of self entirely, where I am nothing but a window for perception. I have also seen futures where I integrate the connection fully and become something new. Neither fully Nalthorian nor fully witness, but a synthesis of both. She smiled. I choose that risk, because the alternative is to forever wonder what I might have seen. Harmonic Cascade was silent for a long moment. Then they began to glow brighter. Then I will vote to allow the witness to remain. But with conditions? The chamber erupted in reactions. Species who voted to destroy the witness demanded to know what conditions could possibly make such a thing safe. Those who wanted it preserved worried the conditions would simply be another form of suppression. Cascade waited for silence. The witness must accept limitations on its sight. There are regions of space, sealed realities, contained dimensions where truths exist that should not be known even by it. Ancient tombs of knowledge predating even the current universe's structure. These must remain sealed. Marcus watched as Kira's expression shifted, as if listening to something no one else could hear. Then she nodded. The witness agrees. It has seen the sealed places you speak of. It understands some doors once opened cannot be closed. It will not look where you ask it not to look. Furthermore, Cascade continued, any being connected to the witness must retain ability to sever that connection at will. No permanent integration. No forced observation. The witness must promise to release any lens who wishes to look away. Again, Kira listened. Again, she nodded. Agreed. The witness reminds you, it never forced my people into service 50 million years ago. We came willingly. When we chose blindness, it grieved, but did not stop us. It will not change this principle now. The third condition came from Arbiter Velmcora themselves. The witness must allow itself to be partial. It must accept it cannot see everything at once, even with 10 billion eyes across the galaxy. It must acknowledge blind spots. It must admit its perception, while vast, is not infinite. If it claims omniscience, it becomes what we most fear. A god who thinks itself infallible. This time Kira was silent longer. Marcus could see the struggle in her expression. The witness resisting this limitation. The idea of missing something going against its fundamental nature. Finally, Kira spoke. This is difficult for the witness to accept. Its nature is to see. Suggesting it should not try to see everything is like asking water not to be wet. She paused. But it understands the wisdom of your concern. It agrees to this. It will acknowledge uncertainty. It will admit when its sight is incomplete. It will not claim absolute truth, only its truth. One perspective among many, even if that perspective is vast. Harmonic Cascade's form pulsed with what might have been approval. Then the Kelvin vote to preserve the witness. Let the new age begin, the final tally came. 1,247 species voted to allow the witness to exist under the agreed conditions. 843 voted for its destruction. 210 abstained. The Galactic Council did not dissolve, not immediately. But its nature changed fundamentally. The Council could no longer operate in shadows, could no longer make decisions based on information only they possessed. The witness had become the galaxy's shared eye. It's available to anyone willing to look. Some species thrived in this new transparency. Others struggled. And some, the ones with darkest secrets, found themselves facing revolution from within. Earth's status in the galactic community transformed overnight. Ambassador Hayes received communication from 73 different civilizations asking for formal alliances. Humanity's willingness to break things, to fix them, once seen as dangerous recklessness, was now recognized as exactly what the galaxy needed. But there were costs. 3 founding species of the Council, including empires that had dominated galactic politics for millions of years, withdrew from galactic society entirely, sealing their borders and refusing all contact. They wanted no part of a galaxy where truth flowed freely. 3 weeks after the vote, he returned to Nalthoria Prime one final time. He found Kira in the garden where they had first met, the Twilight Garden where she had asked him to help her see stars. She looked different now. Her body occasionally flickered with transparency, as if not fully present in normal space. Her eyes shifted through colors continuously, perceiving wavelengths and dimensions far beyond human sight. But when she saw Marcus, she smiled. For just a moment, she was the girl he remembered. "Hello, Marcus Webb. I have been watching your life through the witness's sight. You have been promoted. Earth's government wants to make you ambassador of human witness relations." "I turned them down," Marcus said, sitting on a bench. "I am an engineer, not a diplomat. I build things. I do not manage them. You built this." Kira gestured at the sky where the observatory still orbited, but now with gentler light. A new way for the galaxy to see itself. "I just wanted to help a blind girl," Marcus said quietly. "I had no idea it would lead to all this." Kira sat beside him, or her projection sat beside him. He was not quite sure anymore. "The witness wants me to tell you something. It says this was always possible. Every action carries within it potential for vast consequences. You did not create this outcome, Marcus. You simply chose not to look away from suffering. That choice rippled outward. Do you regret it?" Marcus asked. "Do you regret asking me to help you?" Kira was quiet for a long time. When she spoke, her voice carried harmonics that had not been there before. The witness speaking through her, or with her, or perhaps they had become so integrated there was no difference anymore. "I am no longer entirely sure what I means," she admitted. "Am I Kira who wanted to see colors? Am I the witness who wanted to perceive reality again? Am I something new that emerged from their fusion?" She looked at Marcus with those impossible eyes. "But whatever I am glad you said yes. I am glad I can see the stars." Marcus felt tears finally fall. "I am sorry. I am so sorry for what happened to you. Do not be." Kira's hand, solid for just a moment, touched his. "You gave me vision. What I chose to do with that vision, how I chose to see, what I chose to become, that was always my choice. The witness never forced me. Neither did you. You just opened a door. I am the one who decided to walk through it." Marcus left Nalthoria Prime knowing he would probably never see Kira again. Not the Kira he had met anyway. That girl was gone, transformed into something vast and strange and beautiful in ways humans could barely understand. But as his ship pulled away, he received one final message. A simple image. A drawing in charcoal like the one Kira had made when the witness first began waking. This drawing showed Marcus in his workshop, assembling the visor with careful hands. But it was drawn from an impossible perspective. From above, from below, from inside his mind, from a future where his choice had already rippled across the galaxy. It showed not just what he had done, but why, and what it meant. At the bottom in Kira's handwriting were 3 words: "Thank you for seeing." 6 months later, Marcus was back on Earth, back in his workshop in New Geneva. He had returned to simpler projects, fixing broken equipment, designing prosthetics, helping people on a scale he could understand, but his work had changed. Every device he created now included a reminder that what he built would be seen, that actions had consequences rippling outward, that helping one person could change civilizations. The galaxy was still adjusting. The Council had restructured into something more democratic, more transparent, more accountable. New alliances formed. Old powers fell. The flow of truth had proven as disruptive as feared and as necessary as hoped. Marcus sat in his workshop, holding a data crystal Ambassador Hayes had brought. A message from Kira, an offer to connect temporarily with the witness, to see what it saw, to understand what he had helped create. He had not decided yet. Some doors could stay closed until you were ready to walk through them, but he kept the crystal. Because like Kira, like humanity, like every species that voted to preserve the witness, Marcus had learned one truth. It was better to see clearly and struggle with what you saw than to live in comfortable blindness. He had given a blind girl the ability to see, and in doing so, he had helped the galaxy learn to look at itself. That was enough. Retriclod can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.